Some of you may have heard that there is a Good Times animated reboot that is coming up April 12th, releasing April 12th through Netflix. They dropped the trailer like a week ago, maybe a few days ago, and the reaction has been, let's just say it's been very passionate. The Black community has felt a type of way to the trailer for the Good Times animated reboot. So we're gonna watch the trailer if Netflix allows us. I'm not gonna lie, Netflix has been, on my first episode of Standing on Business, they blocked the episode because I had Vince Staples' show on the television in the background. No sound. I think they even chopped it up so it wasn't even like a coherent story being told, but Netflix was like, nah, dog, take that down. So we'll see if we can even play the trailer. If not, it's just gonna be a black screen and you'll know why you can't see what I'm saying. But let's watch the trailer.
Let me guess. The state called and they want to cut you a disability check for your face. Hold up. You can get paid for that? This is from a fool who stares at his orange juice every morning. It says concentrate on the box. Who the dummy now? Shit. Me for not wearing a condom. Shadows fall over my heart. It all started with my grandfather, James Evans. My job as the man of this house is to take care of this family no matter what. I just want to let you know, I'm going to take good care of Gray. Who is this I'm about to kill? Come on, my boyfriend. Daddy, let him go. Baby, she come with me. Junior's repeating the 10th grade for the 3rd time. Is there anything you can suggest to help him get to the drive-thru? Can you do OnlyFans? Take off your shoes. Let me see what kind of feet you're working with. I'll take you to the dark side. Dear Black Heavenly Father, College Redeemer, if you could just help us.
Son, it's for you.
New phone. Who this? At least they ain't got that drug dealing baby under my roof no more. Man, my mouth ready for some milk right now. Dalvin, why are you so breast obsessed? It's childish, man. Bruh, I'm a baby. I can't get no more childish than that. In a nocturnal state of mind. Your neighborhood is a real shithole. It's the system. They put the guns and drugs on the streets. This is getting dangerous. I won't just sit back and let you put yourself in harm's way. I love you too very much. Everything back. The revolution would not be televised. Come on, Rosa Parks, can't you just enjoy this? We're just as good as the Evans of old. Isn't that just dynamite? But the truth is, we're the Evans of new. Bitch, you look like money. What about the struggle? We're black. It'll be here tomorrow. Everything black. Wait a minute. The baby? Little baby? And baby? Too many babies around this crib.
Okay, that's it. That's the trailer. That's what's gonna get you excited about watching the Good Times animated reboot. I mean, if anything, I don't understand why people aren't more excited about the Good Times animated reboot. Like that was lit, right? We've definitely got to start with the original cast and seeing how they're feeling about seeing their show brought to life in the modern era. Let's see here. John Amos, who portrayed Patriarch James Evans on the first 3 seasons, and Bernadette Stannis, known for playing Thelma, middle child to James and Florida Evans throughout the series. About their reactions to the Netflix trailer below, they say, or at least Amos says, I really can't form an opinion as I've not seen any of the episodes yet. He goes on to explain that the high quality of the 1970s series makes it challenging for newer projects that aspire to be compared to it. Norman and the entire casting company set the bar pretty high. They'll have a hard time reaching that level of entertainment and education. I wish them the best. I see people aspiring to that, but I don't see anybody reaching that goal, especially in an animated version. He took a very diplomatic approach to seeing the trailer, right? He was like, I can't judge it yet. I don't know what the show is actually going to do, what the content is going to be. That's a fair assessment, and it's a safe assessment. Okay. Executive producers, and I thought this was interesting. Stephen Curry, I mean, that seems like a pretty good get. I don't really know what his creative bag is like. I'm not sure what shows he's put out there. I would imagine this is his first foray into an animated television series. Comedic. I don't think comedic. He's probably done some other stuff comedically. Seth MacFarlane, who we all know from American Dad and Family Guy, and I mean, a bunch of others. I mean, not a bunch. Ted, which is a movie, but he's also got the show now. A little worrisome to see Seth's name on there, only because Seth was also responsible for the Cleveland Show spinoff, which was just a train wreck immediately upon launch. You talk about a show in a cartoon form that's just like, I think they even make reference to this joke, and I think it sums up that show so well. It's like a show that was written for black people by a person who's never met black people. It was the weirdest combination of like base level, not even good stereotypical black people, and then mixing it in with a fantastical world where bears talk, and I didn't understand where they were going with that show. So that's a little worrisome to see Seth MacFarlane's name on there. But then again, he could just be like, I'm the money guy. You guys create what you want to create. I'm just here to make sure that you can do it. Who knows? Any other names? Oh, notable names. You also got the voice cast. You got JB Smoove, who we heard. I think he was playing the young son on there. Yvette Nicole Brown, who we love to see. Jay Farrow, who's also great when it comes to his voice impressions. Marseille Martin, wasn't she the young lady on Blackish, right? I'm pretty sure. And Gerald Slink Johnson, who I am not familiar with. In a post last week on X, formerly Twitter, Brown responded to a user who questioned why the Community alum would be involved with the Good Times revival. I'm guessing her answer was this show is edgier and more irreverent than the good times of our childhood, but it's still a show about family, fighting the system, and working to make things better despite where you start out in the world. That 100% lines up with my values. Okay, so again, I mean, obviously she's a part of the show, right? So she's going to stand up for the show that she lent her voice to and obviously read the script of and had to believe somewhat in. It is... I am curious how many of the cast members feel that the show that they were presented, that they recorded for, is the same show that they actually saw released. And are they going to, like Yvette did, stand by it or try to backtrack a little bit now that they're seeing the reaction that a lot of people are having towards it and be like, oh, well, that's not really what I signed on for, or I don't know what they were thinking. I would imagine when they got the script, this is exactly what we're seeing. They got the same script that reflects the show we're seeing. So they saw something in it that they enjoyed. So that's got to be a good sign, right? Because it's not like you got bums on the show. You got good quality talent. That Good Times animated reboot is nasty. We need a boycott and petition. We're starting off strong. I mean, Netflix has got to see this so far and be like, we did a good thing here. Just watch the trailer for that Good Times animated reboot and door shut. You know it's bad when you got Denzel in the GIF. What else? Let me see some more reactions. So this guy is the mastermind behind the Good Times reboot animated series. No, he's definitely gonna catch a lot of hate because it's why the hell is Seth MacFarlane producing the animated reboot of Good Times? Of all the black people we have in Hollywood now that could be doing some production or producing, why is Seth MacFarlane's name attached to it? Again, he could just be the money guy. Maybe you just need that guy who's got No, Steph Curry definitely has the money on his own to get it done. Maybe he doesn't have the necessary knowledge when it comes to animated TV series, and so that's why he went to get somebody who's got arguably one of, if not the most successful, longest running television series on TV in Family Guy. And American Dad also doing very well, and Bob's Burgers also doing very well. So clearly he knows a formula, but that formula doesn't always necessarily translate to black people. Again, referencing the Cleveland show and what the hell happened there. Demand Netflix cancel. Demand Netflix cancel. The Bel Air reboot drama was 10 times better than whatever the minstrel animated Good Times Netflix series. Oh, God. Seth MacFarlane accused of racism over new animated Good Times reboot. Yeah, no, I told you, he's definitely going to catch it. He's 100% going to catch it out of everybody that was listed as an executive producer. Because, again, why him? My takeaway, and let's get the video back up here. My takeaway on why this is so upsetting is because you've attached the name Good Times to whatever it is you're doing here. Now, full cards on the table here. I didn't grow up watching Good Times. Like, that was before my time. I think it started in like, well, what? Let's not talk out of our asses here. Good Times came out in the 80s, maybe? Good Times. What year did you come out, yo? 1974. Okay, so like, yeah, I had like a good 20 years before I was entering the scene. I have seen clips. I've heard Dynamite. I've heard the lingo. I can't believe I just said lingo. I've heard the slang that's came out of the show. I've heard the references that have come out of this show. Like, it still lives on in black culture. Maybe not in a coherent whole sense of the show, what it was about, but like the things that were important about the show, the sense of community, the names, like JJ, like all of that still lives very firmly within the black community. And then I'm assuming for the older community, like this was, as it was reported, the first TV show that had a 2-parent black household, which is a major milestone because one of the things that we all recognize is the power of media and representation in media and how people outside of our community come to learn about us through media, right or wrong, good or bad. That's how they begin to assess what it is another culture may be by watching TV shows or reading in a magazine when that was a thing or reading a book, right? So when you have a show come out and say like, hey, a black woman and a black man can have a stable household together, well, that's a good thing. That's a positive thing. And you can see why our community would quickly gravitate towards that and like champion it. One of the things that I'm also picking up from this show is that although this family lived in poverty, they're all representing various forms of what I'm assuming would have been like to grow up in the 70s and just be a typical black family without any of the extra dressings on it. Like, this is just a real world look at a 2-parent household black family. Beautiful that they showcase the struggle in that moment. Beautiful that, you know, stereotypical things may occur because that was the reality of that situation in the 70s. The problem with the reboot is that you took something that was meant to uplift and showcase black households in a positive light and made it a joke in your animated reboot. You just took the name and put it on this whole different show that has nothing to do with what the original was about, at least from face value. Face value screams, this is a show that is playing with black people's emotions today. And not just black people. I think it also plays with white people's emotions too, because there's a lot of triggering things that I feel like executives and the decision-making room know what it is going to get people talking. They don't even care if it's something that is got an actual message to it. Like, for example, in one part in the trailer, we see, right. So you see a bunch of white men, probably in law enforcement or some secret government agency, come in, deliver a bunch of weapons and guns into the neighborhood. They jet, and then we end up killing each other, right? Powerful message. I don't think this doesn't come off as, oh, we're a show that's going to deliver on these ground-breaking themes. We're going to show you or expose the true nature of how the world really works, and it's, you know, how we're pitting you against each other in order for our, you know, this other population to thrive. It doesn't come off like that. It comes off as what's on trending on Twitter. Because like everybody understands already, like there are outside forces working against those in the inner cities, in the hoods to keep them in that position. This doesn't do anything new to elevate it. It just, again, just rehashes it. Like, hey guys, remember that, you know, we're still killing you. Also, I can see an issue with this character right here specifically is referenced so much. If I can just find the child right somewhere. What the hell is this? What is all of this? All of this. Again, this is why when I say that if you're trying to promote a message of uplifting, of growth, trying to show something progressive, trying to actually reach people and teach them something, you cannot be reinforcing things that are not true. For example, there are no babies, none in the black community that are dressed up like this, selling drugs on the corner. No community. This is you just applying stereotypes of that community and thinking, oh, they'll enjoy it because they'll understand it. But whose baby is this? Whose baby is doing this? Is funny because they were just talking about this in the Nickelodeon doc, right? They had the kid whose first sketch was selling Girl Scout cookies as a drug dealer. And so now you're doing it with a child. And that's where people are, they're upset. Because this doesn't reflect a real community. This reflects a fantasy, an idea of people who have never been around black people and what they think black people find funny. I want to feel like you're doing this for altruistic reasons. I want to feel like you're including the dangers that we all know, everybody knows, associated with a minority and law enforcement and how sticky those situations have gotten, how dangerous those situations have gotten, how the inclusions of body cams, how they're supposed to help, but also they're just really revealing all the nasty ish that goes on and how much of it is swept underneath the rug and just how there's no real punishment to it. I'm hoping that that was the intent of this. But when you're putting everything else in context, when you're putting the rest of the trailer in context, it doesn't come off as you're wanting to promote a message of, hey, everybody, be aware that cops could be bad for black people, right? And that's such a broad generalization because I think most people agree in the black community that not all cops are bad, but there's enough to constitute worry when interacting with law enforcement. There's enough evidence to suggest when you interact with the law enforcement, you better be on your best behavior or something bad could happen to you and there could be no repercussions to those in those abusive relationships of power. I don't feel like that's what this show is putting off right now. I think, again, it's putting off, this is what's going to get the people tuned in. This is what's going to get the people paying money. They want to watch their shitty lies when it comes to the relationships with cops. And again, that draws outrage because you slapped Good Times, a show that was about a realistic look at a two-parent household during a certain time period, and put it on every trending Twitter topic in contemporary America and just said, this is Good Times now. But it's not. Like, if you had called this show anything else, D in the Hood, The Neighborhood, the random inner city America, whatever, you probably would not have gotten such a strong negative reaction to the trailer. I think a lot of it does come from you tried to slap a staple show in the Black community. You try to take that title and just staple it on something else that has Black people in stereotypical situations, and you just believe that the community was going to buy it and run towards it. And arguably, there might still be a lot of people who do go run and see it because it's got the title Good Times on it, and maybe they just don't care about what's being presented to them. But I think to most people who are awakened to what the hell is being presented to us and what the messaging is, this doesn't scream, I care about your plights. This screams, I'm here to make a quick buck off of you based off your real experiences and trauma, and also some fantastical ideas of what your real experiences and trauma are. Okay, so I think that it's also important to note that I don't believe for a second that the people behind this show had no clue what they were doing when they released this product. I think everybody involved, at least on the executive side, on the business side of it, they watched the show. So they either believe that what they have is so incredible that the people who are complaining now, once they see it, are going to be surprised. They're going to be taken aback by how poignant it is in its points. Or they don't care what your reaction is because you're doing what I need you to do, which is talk about the product. All attention is good intention when it comes to show business, right? That's what they say. Good or bad, you're spreading the word about my product. You're talking about my product. And some people believe that if I bash a show enough, right, then that means people aren't going to watch it. I don't think that always correlates. I think the more you bash it, the more some people get interested in checking out why it's so bad. So they hate watch it. So it's still good for the people who made the show, because if you hate what I'm putting out, you're going to talk bad about it. You're going to spread the word. And now we're all tuned in to watch just how terrible the show is. Now I may get review bombed and whatever, and then they'll cancel the show, but they've made their money. Even better, we've made our money, and if we truly don't care about pushing minority voices, we can say, hey guys, we tried to give you a minority show. You didn't watch it. You didn't support it. So what do you want us to do? Now we're going to take our bundles of cash that we got from you all hate watching it and put it into the content that we actually care about that isn't based on stereotypes. Showrunner, Good Times. Animated. Renata Shepard. All right, so I just want to see something here. Because I'm saying that they're putting, okay, so she's Black. And this is what I'm saying as well, because we have Black people that are behind this show and they're presenting these ideas. So two possibilities exist here. One, we're all being fooled by the trailer and it's actually not as bad as we think it is. That it may actually be a really good show. We just have to get over the shock of seeing Good Times put on it and the shock of seeing the worst of what humanity thinks of us showcased as entertainment. Or actually, there's three options. Number two being she doesn't have as much control. She's just got the title of showrunner, and she's still being told by executives, hey, I know you want to promote your social justice and you want to promote people, Black people in positive lights, but we've actually got this agenda. We need you to follow in this agenda. And you can't be mad at her if she wants to keep, meals on her table and take care of her family and just, maintain the life that she's built for herself so she continues to play ball. Or three, maybe we're seeing more and more Blacks that just weren't raised around a lot of other Blacks, and again, I'm not putting this on her. I don't know her. I don't know what her background is. She could be like the most down person on earth. What I'm saying is, in general, though, there are a growing sense of Blacks who just don't seem to necessarily who see the world differently or weren't raised around a lot of other black people. And when that happens, sometimes they can also start to exhibit the thinking of communities that weren't raised around other black people. So they also start to echo the sentiments of what they think is happening in the inner cities or what's happening in the hood, what's happening with the poor black communities. And so they recycle it in the material and be like, this is what's funny to them guys. This is what makes them laugh, because you just don't know, you don't talk to those individuals. Again, not saying that that's what her bag is. And you know, we could have a whole discussion on like, you know, black isn't a monolith. So the fact that I even say that is dangerous, because I don't want people to think that like, if you're not raised around other black people, that makes you less black, because that's not true. You're still black. You're black because that's who your parents were, that's what your ancestors were. And hell, even the term black, I have issues with that, because you're not black, right? You're American now, but you're something that was stolen from you. Black is a color, right? That's why there are black Spanish people, and there are black Asian people, and there are people who have blacker skin, just darker skin, because black isn't an ethnicity. It's an ethnicity now. It's a culture now, because we were removed from our cultures and we had to be given something, and what we had was black because that's what they told us we were, and then we made it a thing. But that's a conversation for a whole different day. The point is, we're not a monolith, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying that there are growing amounts of blacks who aren't black anymore, because they are black. I'm just saying that when you make a show for entertainment based off the pain of a community of blacks, then you're doing a disservice to that community that you just haven't been around. And that can come to, I think that may also be coming off with this Good Times trailer. I'm on the positive side. This is where I'm going to leave it at. I'm on the positive side right now. I think that there may be something here. I see a lot of talent, again, that I'm huge fans of. I like watching Jay Farrell work. I like watching Yvette work. I like watching JB Smoove work. And I don't think they would lend themselves to something that they thought was horrendously offensive. Anyway, that's my thoughts. You know, if you got thoughts, you know what to do. You can leave them in the comment sections below. Or, you know, if you're afraid, you can just ignore the comment sections and just watch the video, and then you can leave. Or you can subscribe. You can do whatever you want. I'm not here to make you do anything you want. I'm just happy that you checked out the video. Thanks for rocking all the way to the end. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Deuces. Did I mention that this is stand on business? I did say that, right? I think the words came down earlier on. Also, I think I might have mentioned that this is released every Saturday. So, but sometimes it's like late Saturday into Sunday. But it's supposed to be every Saturday. That's it. Those are my final thoughts. You can go now. You can leave. I'm not going to say anything else. Bye.
I can't accept the loss, I'm hard-headed. There's a little bit of madness to my method. Many falling off that fine line that I'm treading. I risk anything to be great, and I'm not letting nobody rob me of my victory. Number one, that's what I'm meant to be. When by any means, only thing that makes sense to me, I can make nice or make history. I got that dog in me, yeah, turn me up. Big energy, got the crowd going nuts. I got that dog in me, any up. I take on anyone, I don't need a one-on-one. I got that dog in me, yeah. I'm talking all bite, no bark. I could rip your squad up.